Hello, sir. Good morning. Mr. Jerry, sir. Good morning. Anim Jerry, sir. Good morning. I am Venkat here.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. So please wait me for a few minutes so that others can join. You are the first speaker. So first, after my introduction, then you can speak, sir. Wait for 5 minutes.
All right, that's okay.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you. Seven.
പ്രസാദ് പോയല്ലോ പ്രസാദ് കേട്ടോ അവന്റെ ബാങ്കിൽ എങ്ങാണ്ട് പൈസ മേടിച്ചു
Good morning, good afternoon to one and all. I welcome everyone to this webinar. I am
You are me.
cashewinformation.com. This is the first Trade Talk series of 2025. In this, it is organized by cashew.information.com in collaboration with Directorate of Crop Services, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Ghana. Today, the topic of discussion is about the ongoing Ghana cashew season. We have 4 distinguished speakers who are part of this discussion. Now, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Mr. Anim Jerry. Mr. Anim Jerry Jacob is the Assistant Director of Agriculture, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Ghana. He is in charge of the cashew development at the Directorate of Crop Services, Ministry of Food and Agriculture in Ghana. He is a crop production expert, cashew value chain expert. He holds BSc and MPhil in Agriculture Science from University of Ghana. He has worked as a trainer for the past 7 years and a key player in research activities. He has been a facilitator for the Cashew Master Training Program for the past 5 years and a facilitator in the Ghana Banking College on tree crop value chain for the past 3 years. He is an experienced agronomist working in the crop subsector for the past 14 years. He has progressed from an assistant agriculture officer to the position of assistant director in the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Ghana, and has been coordinating all cashew programs in the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. I welcome Mr. Anim Jerry once again. Over to Mr. Anim Jerry.
Thank you very much for the introduction.
You will share your presentation, sir. Yes, sir, you can go ahead. So please unmute.
Um,
Yes.
can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. Good morning, everyone. We are here this morning to have a brief on the cashew sector in Ghana and see how the season is going. This is going to be the outline of my presentation. It's a brief presentation. We are going to look at a brief of the cashew sector, then the cashew season in general this year, that's 2025. Then we'll look at RCN quality and corresponding prices within this marketing period. Then we'll look at shipment as at March ending 2025. Next, please. By way of a brief introduction to the cashew sector, cashew is an important commodity in Ghana, and it is important commodity because it's creating a lot of employment, generating revenue, and boosting the rural economy of the rural communities and Ghana as a whole. Area under cultivation in cashew is expanding steadily, and this is culminating into increased RCM production from year to year from the time Ghana started promoting cashew as an export commodity. We have seen plantations or orchard yielding within the ranges of 800 kilograms per hectare to about 1,400 kilograms per hectare. These, I must say, although some farms or some orchards are recording very low, below what I've just mentioned, it is due to bad management practices that some of the producers are engaging in, or to say some of the producers are not adopting best management practices, and that is resulting in some of the low yield that we are witnessing. Next, please. Next slide. Yeah, the cashew season in general this year. This year we have witnessed very late flowering and fruiting, and this could be attributed to the effect of climate change as is playing out in most of producing countries. And as a result of this, we are witnessing very low quantity first crop. I must say that if you compare this year to other years or other producing years, you will notice that the volumes that we are witnessing and this time within the same period, it's quite very low as compared to the previous years. And this could be attributed to the late flowering and fruiting as a result of the changes that we experience in weather conditions and rainfall patterns and the others. We have also witnessed very low quality as compared to previous years. And we are trying to find out what could cause this. But this can also be attributed to maybe the weather fluctuations and then the effect of the climate change that we are seeing these days. Next slide, please. Yeah. As mentioned earlier about the outend, in some years back, you notice we observed that qualities or outends in other regions or towns or enclaves that are higher than what we are witnessing now. And in areas like Winchi, previous years, we could see outends 49, 50, 52. This year, we are seeing a bit lower outend than before. And as I mentioned earlier, even though we are seeing a bit lower outend than previously, because we are having a very low quantity within this period, we are seeing a lot of price hikes as a result of competition for the raw nuts. The table you are seeing is giving us the prices of a kilo of the RCN in the various areas, or in the various cities and various towns. And you can see the price ranging from 16 cedis to 20 cedis, depending on the area and the quality. And we have also noted that even though the minimum price as set by the Trade Development Authority is 15 cedis per kilo, we have witnessed prices which are far higher above the minimum price that has been set by the Trade Development Authority. We have also seen price margins higher between farm gate traders and the companies. Next slide, please. Yeah. Then we are looking at this period from the beginning of the season till now, what quantity of or what volumes of RCN has been moved or has been shipped so far. By the end of February, data obtained shows that about 40,000 metric tons of RCN has been moved or has been shipped out of the country. And by the end of March, a total of 90,000 metric tons has been shipped out of the country, making a total of 130,000 metric tons of total shipment out of the country. And if you should compare this to last year, which is just the previous year, you will note that our observation of a lower volume of RCN within the period is very true. Because last year, by this time, a total of about 160,000 metric tons had already been shipped out of the country. And this year, we are seeing a very lower volume as compared to the volume that was moved within the same period of last year. As a result of the low volume of the raw nuts that we are seeing on the market, is creating a lot of competition and some form of agitation. And we'll see that the effect of that in the next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah. The low volume presents a challenge for actors and policymakers in the country. A challenge because of the low volume and the competition that we have witnessed is leading to price hikes. One will say that should be a good thing. Yes, of course, it is, but it is only good for certain segment of the value chain, particularly the production segment, that is the producers. The producers will tend to gain because they are getting higher yield, higher value for their produce. But if you look at the processing segment and the trading segment, you will note that if you put all together, the excessive price hikes will not benefit the whole value chain because the effects will come back to affect the farmers. And also, another challenge that we have witnessed is trading of raw nut with high moisture levels. This is also as a result of the high competition for the nuts. Most of the aggregators and traders might think that if they allow the raw nuts to dry to the recommended moisture level, maybe they might not get it. So they will prefer, some of them will say that they will buy at that high moisture level and they will do the drying themselves. Quite often we hear that, but we have noted that most of them are not able to abide by that, creating a lot of challenges in terms of quality reduction for raw nuts for us as a country. And this is some of the areas that the Trade Development Authority and other policymakers, where one of my colleagues will be speaking to shortly, is trying to address, because at the end of the day, to create a problem for all the actors in the value chain. Next slide, please. Yeah, so in conclusion, looking at what has happened so far, it is envisaged that the favorable weather condition observed in February and March could contribute to an increase in volume in the second crop. This is what we are expecting to see. And also it is projected that by the end of the season, a total of Ghana's production could rise to the level of 255,000 metric tons. And we are anticipating this because of the good weather that we have seen from somewhere February till now. Because most of the plants flowered late, the good weather that we are experiencing from February thereabouts is helping some of the fruiting and then the growth in some of the producing areas. So this is what we are anticipating. And as a government and as a ministry, if we look at investment made in the production segment within the past few years, we are anticipating that we'll be seeing a higher volumes by now. But like I mentioned earlier, due to the effect of the climate change and the change in the weather condition that is causing the low volume, we are not seeing that yet. I will end here, and if there is any clarification, any question, I'll be well and happy to take them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, Mr. Anim Jerry, sir. It's a nice presentation, and we will have question and answer session at the end of all the presentation. I request you to wait till the end of all the other presentation. Then we will have Q&A session. Thank you once again, sir. Now I request the next speaker, Mr. Adams Wubank. He is a value chain specialist for Ghana and cashew, an experienced agriculture development officer with over 13 years in extension services, monitoring and evaluation, and value chain development. Mr. Adams currently serves with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
Thank you very much.
First, sir, 1 second, sir. First, I finish my introduction. Then you can continue, sir. Just a minute. Mr. Adams currently serves.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
yeah. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Adams currently serves with the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and also works as a cashew value chain specialist under the Tree Crops Development Authority and Diversification Project with a strong background in planning, implementation, and stakeholder coordination. He has contributed to several national and international agriculture programs. Now I invite Mr. Adams to present.
Thank you very much.
Adams, once again.
Thank you. Please, can you hear me?
Presentation, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can continue.
Thank you. I'm trying to project from here. Can you see the?
Yes, sir.
Please, can you see the slides?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. So my table of contents, I'm going to talk about what the TCDA is doing to sustain the value chain, the cashew value chain. So I'm personally going to talk about issues related to ensuring a sustainable supply chain for cashew. So I'll talk about sustainability through pricing mechanism. I'll talk about establishment of traceable supply chain. Then I'll delve into our new project, which is the Ghana Tree Crop Diversification Project. So, firstly, what the TCDA is doing now is that we've developed a pricing mechanism. And the objective of this mechanism is to ensure that the producers who are, sorry, I got a little, okay, please, let me, thank you. Yeah, the objective with this is to increase production, and the model assumes and determines the cost margins of all the activities that are prime to all the various actors before the price is being set. And just as Jerry was telling you, this year the price sets for the 2024-2025 season was 15 Ghana cedis. Fortunately, unfortunately, we were projecting that by the close of the season, the price may hit 18 cedis, but just by January, February, others were buying the raw cashew nut at a cost of 25 Ghana cedis, which was quite beneficial to our farmers, but we were not sure whether that was going to be sustainable. And just as Jerry said, the price has remained stable, because even though we are seeing a drop in quality, because the quantity is not there, farmers are still cashing out from the little that they are able to produce. Then we are also trying to establish a traceable supply chain. When Jerry was doing his presentation, you could hear him say that most of our farmers are selling wet nuts, which is very, bad to business. We are expecting to get that quality that the people who are investing in the industry would not lose at the end, will continuously sustain the industry. So we expect farmers to dry their cashew nuts before the aggregators and the traders come in to purchase. Unfortunately, because of the mad rush, farmers are not allowed to carefully dry their RCN before traders and aggregators come in. We have instituted this traceable system so that we will be able to know the number of aggregators we have in the system, the number of traders that we have in the system, the number of indigenous exporters and the foreign exporters, and we will be able to trace at which point that the qualities are being dropping, so that the system is such that the TCDA knows every aggregator. TCDA will be able to know where each and every RCN is coming from. So when we are able to identify places where quality is reducing, we will address the issue at that particular point. Unfortunately, most of the actors in the system are still doing business without registering with the Tree Crops Development Authority. One of the key issues related to the traceable supply chain is also to help the TCDA collect its development levies. We are talking about decline in quality. We are talking about increase in production. We are talking about improving extension services to farmers. We need levies to support the authority to undertake such activities. Unfortunately, most of these exporters who are supposed to pay the levies are not paying. The levies also are not even directly taken from the exporter, but are being calculated from the process that are going to the farmers. So when exporters refuse to pay these levies, it means that they are shortchanging the government and shortchanging our farmers as well. We need a vibrant and a sustainable cashew industry, and for us to get that, we need these development levies to help the industry. I am also happy to say that at this point, yesterday, Mr. Jerry himself engaged the Minister of Agric, and we have agreed that we're going to institute mechanism to help us take these levies, and we are going to streamline. We are going to make sure that we get people who are ready to accept responsibilities in the industry to engage with, so that people who are being difficult in the industry and destroying the industry, we get them out of business. So from next week, I know there will be a communique from the minister directing all exporters, and we will also write to people who have already exported without paying the levy to do so, because we need it to ensure a sustainable supply chain. People like these event organizers have placed enough monies or investment into the industry. How do we ensure that they get returns from their investment. It is through helping to regulate the system. So this is what the traceable supply chain establishment for the TCD means. At this point, we have all the actors we are dealing with, and we know we'll be able to trace where their activities are being done. Under the Ghana Tree Crop Development Authority, Mr. Jerry in his presentation said that as a result of issues related to climate change, variabilities, and issues related to extension services and other stuff, the quality is declining. And we need to expand. People are looking for Ghana cashew because Ghana at one point was described as having the best of RCN. We need to continuously move towards it. So per the tree crop diversification project, it has an objective to improve the economic, climate, and social resilience in tree value chains. But here our concentration is on cashew. And some of the major activities that we are undertaking this season 2025 is to supply 3 million elite cashew seedling to 10,000 farmers. 3 million cashew seedlings. We are anticipating that in the next 2 years, we will be able to supply not less than 7 million cashew seedlings to farmers to continue to produce. People are interested in cashew. People are interested in Ghana RCN. How do we ensure expansion in production? So the TCDP is being implemented to solve this problem. As part of the TCDP, we are also going to ensure extension services and also ensure subsidies on agro inputs. We want our farmers to be more productive on a small piece of land. What the TCDA is thinking about is that now that our farmers are producing from an acre of or a hectare of land about 600 to 900 kg, we want to push them close to the 2 tons, 3 tons level. So as part of the Ghana Tree Crop Diversification Project, we are instituting a vigorous extension program to help farmers understand the good agronomic practices related to cashew so that productivity would be enhanced. Lastly, as part of the TCDP, we are also going to institute a market-led tree crop research agenda. Mostly people in the business have what the consumers are looking for, so that researchers don't sit at their place and churn out whatever they think the system needs, but rather whatever research that is being undertaken in the cashew industry will be what the consumers or what the market is looking for. So as part of the tree crop diversification project, we are going to institute, and this is going to be led by my own colleague Jerry Enim. He has even started with the concept note of it and has shared with me. Very soon we will have this platform. So when the time comes, you, all those who are part of the value chain, we will get you on board so that what the market is required is what our researchers come out with. So that is what the TCDA is doing now. I wouldn't have much to say for now, so I'll end all my presentation here, and just as Jerry said, if there are questions after the presentations, I'll give them. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Adams, for such an elaborate presentation on the Ghana Tree Crop Diversification Project. We will take your questions, others' questions, at the end of all presentations. Thank you once again. Now I would like to introduce the next speaker, Mr. Antonio Caramello. Mr. Antonio Caramello is the General Manager at Yuzibiras, Ghana, and he is a veteran in cashew industry with over 25 years of experience. He has led some of the largest cashew processing factories across Africa, including Ivory Coast, Gambia, Mozambique, and Ghana. Mr. Antonio is known for his expertise in factory operations, quality control, and international market development, with strong focus on training, certification, and scaling production capacity. Mr. Antonio has played a key role in introducing advanced processing systems and boosting export capabilities to the Europe and the US. Over to Mr. Antonio. Now I invite Mr. Antonio. Sir, please unmute yourself. Mr. Antonio is there. Carmelo. Antonio Carmelo. Sir, please unmute yourself. Mr. Carmelo is there. Please unmute yourself. Ask him to unmute. I think the link is not available. I think maybe we have to wait for him. We'll wait for a minute. Otherwise, we'll go to the next speaker. Okay, he is having some technical issues. We'll wait for a minute. Give 1 minute, please. Continue with the next speaker first, then fine. We'll wait for a minute. Otherwise, we'll continue with the next speaker. He's trying to join. Maybe he will join in a minute's time. I think it's taking time. We will move on to the next speaker. Then Mr. Antonio will join. Later he will join. Now, I invite the next speaker, Mr. Philip Boateng. He is the Chief Operations Officer, Basilia Shipping and Logistics. Mr. Phillips is overseeing end-to-end logistics and freight operations across sea, land, and air with over 17 years of experience in the shipping and supply chain industry. Mr. Phillips brings deep expertise in operations, customer relationship management, and commercial strategy. He has previously held leadership roles at Saint Freight and spent over 13 years at Maersk Line, where he successfully managed key accounts such as Nestle SA and played a critical role in expanding business across West and Central Africa. In addition to his corporate role, Mr. Phillips is the managing proprietor of No One Day Enterprise and a committed member of Rotary International. He holds both a BA in marketing and an MSc in management from the University of South Wales, UK, with a focus on CRM and leadership. Over to Mr. Phillips.
Thank you, and good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the timeline, for giving me the opportunity to make this presentation. It's going to be brief. I hope you can hear me well and clear. So I have a very short presentation in terms of the number of slides. So the first slide basically gives an overview of the market trends in terms of volumes, containerized shipment of cashews from Ghana, and it's a comparative analysis between 2024 season and this year, January, February. The figures for March are not out yet, so I didn't add that one. And even the figures for February, there might be some tweaking as we go, as the days progress. So, but for now, these are the figures we've been able to obtain from our research. And these are in TEUs, that is in 20-foot equivalent units. So if you want to find how many 40-foot, you just divide it by, you just multiply it, divide it by 2, and then you get the figures you made. A number of things have happened, and this year we see that the volumes sorry, just a second. The volumes into Vietnam for the first 2 months of this year compared to last year has dropped by almost 75%. But strangely enough, the volumes for India has more than doubled compared to the same period last year. And this can be understood in terms of the trends. If you look at the trends from Ghana, the season usually starts with volumes going mainly to India because that's when the crop quality is at the highest. So you will see more going into India than Vietnam, but the variations in terms of year-on-year numbers are a lot more significant for this year compared to last year's trends. Last year was a bit close. Vietnam also started a bit early. So you see that the volumes are just about the same. But this year, almost everything is going into India. One, because the prices are too high in terms of the farm gate prices, and the quality also, India is more critical when it comes to the nut quality. So if you are paying a high price for farm gate and you are shipping, you want to ship to a market that will also buy premium. And there is also some other market dynamics in terms of even the payments for exporters to the exporters by the buyers. Usually, if you listen to exporters, they will indicate to you that you get a better advance in terms of the percentage advance to you as the exporter from the Indian market compared to Vietnam. And that's also a big motivation. So when you're getting a good price, you are getting the financing to also manage your business in terms of procurement and all of that. So it's a bit easy on the exporters if at the beginning of the season they start with India so that they can get a better return on their capital compared to moving a lot to Vietnam. There are other issues happening in the market as well. Ideally, we were expecting a better volumes, especially in March. The figures for March are not out yet, but I can tell that the figures in March are not too impressive. For the month of March are not too impressive because market prices, farm gate prices are still too high and the volumes are not there to ship. So the figures might drop for India, especially when the March volumes come out, the March data comes out. And this can be attributed to a number of other reasons as well. So the low yield, which has been spoken about, is one factor. The high prices, I've spoken about that. And the spread between the FOB price here and the international market is a bit narrow. And market intelligence or information from the market indicates that India has a good crop this year, and there is also a good crop from Tanzania. So that might make it a bit more risky to buy at a high price from Ghana and ship, and you might probably make a loss, or the margins you might make might not be as good as you expect it to be. So that might be affecting the market currently. And also, there is a big elephant in the room, which is the IVC-Ghana border. Ghana doesn't produce as much as Ivory Coast in terms of cashew. So a lot of the volumes that comes out of Ghana actually originates from Ivory Coast. And why would people do that? It's because the shipment cost from Ghana is a lot cheaper than shipping from Ivory Coast. If you do a like-for-like analysis, it's anywhere between 50 to about 75% higher when you ship from Ivory Coast in terms of the logistics and the processes you have to go through and all the costs associated with that process. So with this stricter enforcement of what comes across the border by the Ivorian side, we have seen a bit of a shortage in the Ghana market in terms of the crop available for export. And I'm mentioning Ivory Coast and not mentioning Burkina because on a normal day, the quality from Ivory Coast is almost or equally as good as Ghana, but the Burkina quality is significantly lower. Usually, I don't know how the crop will turn out this year. So exporters will prefer to buy maybe Ivory Coast crop and ship, but that is not coming through. So the numbers in terms of the volumes moving out of the market or out of Ghana for the month of March we are expecting it to be lower. And unless something else happens, it's going to be a challenge for Ghana in terms of the volume expectation by the government agencies, maybe in terms of revenue and all of that, and the forex inflows. So that is in summary, the situation on the ground. All in all, we expect at the end of the season, if things should work out as normal like in previous years, more of the volume to go to Vietnam or the Far East. And by more, I mean anywhere between 60 to 70% or 75% thereabout by the end of the season, going to Vietnam in terms of volume. But the beginning of the season, these figures you are seeing is normal. Most of the cargo go to India because of the higher quality and the better prices and the cash flow, the better cash flow from the Indian market. So that's I will end my presentation here, and then take questions. There is more information in the background, some of which will only be given if there are appropriate questions to that effect. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Philip. Now over to Mr. Antonio Caramelo for the last presentation. Mr. Antonio is there? Mr. Caramelo?
Yes.
Yes, sir. So you can go ahead with your presentation.
Let's see this slide presentation first.
Yes, 1 second, sir. Just a minute, sir. We will show that. So now you can continue, sir. Is it visible?
Okay. I think good morning, everyone. I think everyone is seeing my presentation about the challenges we face thanks for the local processes in Ghana. I want to start to mention this year for the processors is the worst year because it's the first time you face in the farmer gate high price, big high price compared last year by the Indians guys because the farmer gate began $1,500 in the farmer gate because you pay 23 Ghana cedis by kilo. Is one price. The processors, they cannot afford this price at the farmer gate. Means our capacity is to 25,000 tons processed a year, but I cannot read it, please. This year we face a shortage of the cashew because you cannot compete with the Indian people. I don't know what is the people in the beginning where was very aggressive for the high quality. Now the second crop we can buy some, but the high moisture, what it cannot facilitate our buying. What I want to say about, I think is not. I don't know if everyone can read it. You can read it. This year, like I say, I mentioned some points, but high competition by the Indian guys is a big problem. We cannot compete with the price. We struggle to buy cashew this year. The price is very high. The Indians put the price very high. The local guys, we cannot accept this price. Let's go. I think we started encouraging the farmers, contacted them. We stabilized good relations with them. But the price, we cannot compete with the price. The farmers, most of them, is sell to the foreigners. It's a reality. So that's why we don't have too much cashew inside the factory now. I cannot read it. What you you cannot read it. What you wrote it. You read it. Please hold on. Wait.
Hello, is it audible? Is it audible, sir?
Yeah, it's okay. The poor supply chain integration, like I say, you writing some solutions, but about what you should do about the arrest this year. I cannot read anything. You can change the letters. Small, please. Okay, let's see.
Shall I read from my side?
Yeah, now it's better.
Yes. Government must fix a minimum price for the purchase of raw cashew nut on the field and farm gate. Advocate for local processing quota before export. Push government incentives like tax break and funding support for processors. IBC has a minimum price to export that USD 1000, USD 750.
Yes. That's why I think you will need to follow what IBC doing. You fix the minimum price. Where is the tax should be fixed? We here in Ghana, we have like the government put put some policy this year, only fix 92 Ghana cedis minimum $6 by ton the tax to export the cashew this year. If you're not taxing exporters with a reasonable price tax, we cannot compete with them because people here in Ghana is free tax. We cannot not any tax compared with the agri costs. The agri cost we fix the minimum price like 700 or 1,000 depends every year. So what is the minimum price with the taxes should be indexed? That's why this amount the government get it became a big revenue to the government after we support plenty the processors. With this free market you have now here in Ghana, we cannot compete with the Indian guys because I will not understand why this year the price is very, very, very high in the farmer gate compared with the canals. The canals, the international market, not to grow to compare with the price the RCN is something. We are surprised about that, why the price, the RCN increased too much against the canal cannot increase it to compare with the RCN. It's a big challenge you face this year. We cannot, but our company, we should buy 20,000, we expect by 22,000, 25,000 tons of the RCN, but you only buy 1,500 tons because we cannot, when we do our calculation, we are out of the market. Now, like I said, is the worst year for the processors here in Ghana because you see lack policy to support the local processors. Okay, the government can say the farmers get a good price. We have a good is the best year for them because we get a higher price. But for the industry, is a big problem. This year will be a big problem. I mentioned some conclusions here about what we should do to help the industry here in Ghana, but you face a lot of challenges this year in terms of the supply. The RCN is the biggest problem. India, the Indian guys, come here in the beginning, he bought the high quality immediately, the high price. Now the quality came down, but still people in the market. But we try to buy something to maintain the factory, running. But the price this year here in Ghana is the biggest problem to the processors. Means I think we need looking for the government next year if you want to protect more the processors in a different way. I think will be a good solution. If not, I not see a better future for the processors in Ghana when it's free. The free people come here, not pay taxes, not pay anything. He can export, pay $1,500 in farmer gate. If you do our calculation, we can, after when you do the costing, transportation, processing cost, everything, when you do our calculation, you are out of the market in terms of the canal. The canal, the canal this year is 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, the W320. When you do our calculation, means we cannot afford this kind of the RCN. It's one question mark. We not know why the Indian people pay this high price this year. is a big problem. Also, the Vietnam people is out of the system, may not pay this price too much compared like last years. But we apply to the government to see that the way he can protect the processors, because if he's not get some protecting, create a minimum price like Ivory Coast, doing fix the minimum price to fix the exportation taxes, increase the taxes, everything. I not see a good future for the processors. If you can compare with Ivory Coast, we are one of the biggest factories in Africa. We are one of the biggest in Ghana. We like our companies one. If you compare with Ivory Coast, they are 50 against here one. Means the supporting is very, very, is not what you're expecting. I know the TTCI tried to implement some policies to help us, but we face a lot of issues. The main problem you face now is the way how we can buy the RCM. I think I did my presentation in terms of you, the processor. Thank you so much to participate in this meeting. Sorry if the problems with the connection, but I think everything is solved. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Carmelo, for articulating the challenges faced by the Ghana processors. Now over to the question and answer section. Now I request the participant to raise their hands or put your questions in the chat box. Questions from Mr. Sailesh Tursian. Is Ghana government offering any subsidy on cashew processing like Ivory Coast and Benin? Over to Mr. Antonio.
Hello?
Mr. Antonio is there?
Yes, I'm here.
Is Ghana government offering any subsidy on cashew processing in IVs like IVC and Benin?
What? Please, can you repeat it? Come again.
So is Ghana government offering any subsidy on cashew processing like
No.
IVC
No,
and Benin?
here is not like Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast, any canals you processing, you export, you get some subside from the government. Here in Ghana, we not get anything. You not have any kind of support by when you export the canals to outside.
Okay. Next question to Mr. Adams. What is the Tree Crop Development Authority doing presently to reduce bureaucracy and the cost of doing business for ASEAN processors? Mr. Adams is there?
Hello. Am I hearing? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Hello. Is it audible? Mr. Adams is there?
Yeah. Can you hear me? I'm here. I'm unmuted.
So what is the
Can you
Tree
hear
Crop
me?
Development Authority doing presently to reduce bureaucracy and the cost of doing business for ASEAN processors?
We've drafted a strategy a strategy that will allow our local processes to, we open a window for them to be able to purchase the RCN at the beginning of the season where the quality is also high, so that we planning a window that will be close to exports. Then this window will allow our local processors to get access to RCN before it is opened for the general exporters, but it has not been implemented yet. We are still in the process of finalizing it. And until the implementation of activities by the TCDA, this strategy had already been drafted by the Ministry of Agric under Mr. Jerry's department. So we are still in the process of finalizing it for approval. When that is done, we believe the bureaucracies and the mad rush for the RCN at the beginning of the season will reduce, and our local industries or our local processors will get access to the first RCN. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. One question to Mr. Anim Jerry. What is the year-to-date production basis arrivals till March end 2025? The production for 2025 is indicated at 250,000 is Ghana's indigenous production or including the cross-border material coming from nearby regions. Over to Mr. Jerry. Mr. Anim Jerry is there.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much. All the figures presented estimate from our own production, exclusive of materials from transit countries. You will notice that the figures presented by Mr. Philip is quite a bit higher than what I presented. And quite often, a lot of people pick the port data. The port data records every single RCN that leaves Ghana, which include transit goods. Mr. Philip mentioned that you all know that Burkina Faso exports through our ports. Burkina Faso is a landlocked country, and as part of the ECOWAS protocol, Ghana cannot prevent Burkina Faso or Mali from exporting their RCN through our ports. So if you go for data from the port and you don't segregate, I don't have a system to segregate as we do, you have higher figures. And quite often, most people misconstrue those higher figures as smuggled goods or goods that we smuggle to mix ours. That is not the case at all. Although you cannot do away with smuggle completely, but the volumes that we see and the volumes that I mentioned are production from our own country. The figures that we have figures for export through our port. You will see that those figures are always higher. For example, last year, total RCN export per the Ghana Port and Harbour Authority was over almost 500 and something thousand metric tons. Our production as of last year is only 252,000 metric tons, which quite far lower than the RCN export through our port. So this is the clarity that need to be made for people to understand the cashew or RCN data from Ghana. We should not mix the data from the port from the data from the Ministry of the TCD system. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. So you have mentioned last year production as 252,000 metric tons. Am I right?
Sure, yes.
This year you are estimating the same, similar to that of last year.
Because of the low volumes that we are experiencing, we don't expect a higher figure. That is why I mentioned earlier on that we are looking at a bit 255. And we are doing this based on the investment made at the production segment. New establishments that were done 4 or 5 years ago that should be coming on stream. But because of the change in weather and its effects, we are not seeing the volume as we ought to see. So that is why we are a bit careful in estimating the figures. At the end of the season, we have a system in place to cross-check and check all the production from the country and to know the accurate estimates for Ghana. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your clarification. Next question. What verifiable action have been taken by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to boost ASEAN production in Ghana? Over to Mr. Adams. Mr. Adams is there? Mr. Adams?
Yes.
Yes, sir. What verifiable action have been taken by the Ministry of Food and Agriculture to boost ASEAN production in Ghana?
For the 2025 planting season, we are supplying 3 million free cashew seedlings to our cashew farmers. We are not doing that alone. We are boosting that with the free extension services to ensure that our farmers understand the good agronomic practices related to agriculture. We also still not doing that alone. We are identifying lead farmers and identifying farmers that could be used as farmer food schools so that our farmers can go there to learn good practices and do same in their own farm to boost productivity. And then lastly, we are also going to supply agro inputs, be it fertilizer, be it other chemicals that will boost productivity. So these are the things that are in place to support production. We are anticipating that in the next 5 years, the project life cycle is 2023 to 2029. So we are anticipating that by the year 2029, Ghana will be hovering around 400 to 500,000 metric tons, though it's quite a huge vision, but it is a vision that the entire actors of the country value chain met to decide on that by the end of this project, we should be able to boost production to 500,000 metric tons. For this vision, we all met as actors of the value chain. Mr. Jerry himself was there. Our processors were there, our key exporters were there, and our key farmers were there. That is the vision. And I can confidently say that we've started very well. By this year, next year, if you are able to do with the 7 million ceilings, we are likely going to have other projects and other source of funding to support these investments so that production will continuously be increased. One advantage, which probably might also be looked as I would say it's an advantage, is that in most areas where food crops are not doing well, where the lands have, depleted in fertility, people are trying to replenish those lands with cashew. So cashew production is strictly increasing, and very soon we will hit the vision that we are anticipating. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And the next question is, where do you see the price of Ghana local price and export price going forward? Mr. Anim is there?
Yeah, please, the question again. I'm here.
So, what is the price expectation of Ghana locally and export price in the coming months?
Thank you very much for the question. The price, even though the government sets the minimum price, the market forces tend to push the price beyond what is expected. Looking at what is happening on the field, it appears the price might go down a bit, but not to the extent below the 15 Ghana cedi that's normally during getting to the second crop, we see the price moving downwards. It does appear that even though it might come down, it might not go beyond 15 cities. Looking at what is happening currently on the markets.
Okay, sir. One more question to Mr. Jerry. Will the processor in Ghana continue to suffer due to high prices? What measures are you putting in place to help the processor for the employment creation of local citizens?
That's a very good question. Thank you very much for the question. I think there are a number of interventions that are being considered to ensure that the local processing segment of the value chain is fully supported. Like Carmelo mentioned, it is in the interest of government and it is in the interest of the ministry for the local processing or the local processing units to be functioning because they serve a very good purpose for us. One is mentioned in the question, employment, and a whole number of benefits for the country. One of the things we are looking at, like my colleague earlier mentioned, and Carmelo also mentioned, to ensure that the local processing units are given a chance and support, not only the chance and support to ensure that they get all their stock that they will need so that they can operate throughout the year. There are other interventions that are being considered to make sure that all the processing facilities that we have in the country, and even those that will come, will be fully supported to ensure that they operate at full capacity. I know very well my friend Carmelo stated there, although they may be working not at full capacity, if they are working at full capacity, there are a lot of benefits that goes for us as a country and as the citizens. So I assure everyone that although it has been a bit late or delays in some of the interventions, we've gone far, and from now going, a lot of things are going to play out for everyone to see the kind of support that will be offered to the local processing units. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your valuable inputs. Now, one question for Mr. Carmelo. What is the local demand? So, what is the domestic kernel demand in Ghana? How much they consume?
What do you say?
What is the local consumption of cashews in Ghana?
No, we cannot. Consumption in Ghana is very low. We export everything for overseas. It's not you not sell anything here. What you produce here, you transform here. You export for EU, US, all these markets. The consumption in the local consumption, there are some processors. They do small. You have small unities, the processing for the local market. But our company only to export to outside the country.
Okay, sir. Over to Mr. Adams.
Thank you very much. I wanted to add a little to what Mr. Jerry, my colleague, said on processing. I mentioned the Ghana Tree Crop Diversification Projects. As part of the projects, a whole component 3, has been dedicated to post-harvest and in relation to processing. That's a whole component. The component is geared towards providing matching grants for our processors to boost processing. So that is one good thing the government is doing. The manual has been prepared, awaiting approval by the World Bank. So we are anticipating that by next year, this matching grant will be in operation, and most our processing factories would have grants to boost production. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. My next question to Mr. Phillips. What is the shipment time from Ghana to India? That means in terms of number of days, is there any improvement when compared to past years? Over to Mr. Phillips.
Thank you. For India, the average transit time is in the region of anywhere between 30 to 35 days. That's for the most popular ports. That's Tuticorin mainly, and the Mangalore and other 2 or 3 other ports along the side. Cochin used to be the main port destination from Ghana. But due to quality challenges with shipments in 20-foot containers, most exporters are doing 40-foot. So the best port option for them is Tuticorin, but it ends up mainly in the Cochin area at the end of the day. So that's the average transit time. But what has changed is in previous years, shipping lines used to put in special services for cashew into India. That is not happening currently. They just some minor tweaks to their current services, and that's what they still maintain. Because we used to have shipping lines putting in direct calls into India in the region of 25 days, between 23 25 days into India. But you can hardly find that now. Its average is 30-35 days into India.
Thank you so much for your clarity on the same. So what mechanism government provides for currency risk? Mr. Adams or Jerry can answer.
Thank you very much. But if the fellow who asked the question can give a bit of clarity with regard to the currency risks, is he talking about depreciation?
Yes, he's
the
talking
exchange
about that
rate
Ghana
fluctuations.
steady versus USD.
Okay, all right. I think with that, a number of interventions are being put in place to ensure the stability of the currency against the major trading currencies. And we will notice that from the beginning of the year, if you do a comparison, you will notice that the rate of change it's a bit slower as compared to previously. So there are a number of interventions that the new government is putting in place to ensure that we have a bit of stable currency that takes care of the risks of the business people. I think that is what I can say with regard to that question.
Thank you so much.
I can see someone is asking about. Someone asked about illegal mining and cashew. I think to look at that, if you look at most of our mining areas, we don't have cashew production in those regions. The major mining areas are the most humid areas, and that we don't have cashew there. So for the one who asked that particular question, we don't have a challenge regarding illegal mining impacting cashew production. We have not experienced that yet. And just to let you know, the issue of illegal mining is being tackled head on by all the civil society and everybody. So we don't expect it even to get to the cashew producing areas. And that is what I can see on that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Any more questions? Or please raise your hands. We are going to wind up this program in about a few minutes from now. Any other questions? So one question is there, it's a lengthy one. Considering the limited production volumes of Ghana, stricter IBC border control, and having said that ASEAN plays a major role in rural economy, what is more ensuring to boost the rural economic ecosystem in terms of value realization, promoting free exports, or processor with volume cap and employment engagement upper cap? More number of traders, directly or indirectly, ends up creating more number of jobs out of farm. So what would the government prefer to promote? Mr. Anim is there?
Please come again. I got lost on the question.
So what they are telling is actually with limited production volumes in Ghana and stricter cross-border controls, ASEAN plays a major role in rural economy, and in terms of value realization, promoting free exports or capping the process volume. I think more number of traders are directly involved in creating more number of jobs. What would be government would do to promote?
Thank you very much. I think I will take it from this angle. It's not an issue of promoting one segment over the other. And that is, I mean to say, is if I get his question correct, he's looking at the trading, aggregating trading aspect as a production and then processing. All these are very important components of the value chain. What is important is proper regulation so that all the components can do their work very well for the benefit of all the sector. If you look at the in-country consumption, it's increasing very rapidly. However, like we all mentioned earlier on, the in-country processing facilities are not getting the RCN to process, and even those processing to feed the local markets are not getting the raw nuts to process. And it's all due to high competition for the nuts. The high competition for the nuts is as a result of not efficient regulation of the trading aspect. I believe that when it is properly regulated, the local processors will have the raw nuts to process, the quantity that they have to process, and then those who want to export will have their quantities to export. There are times that people argue that why don't we increase the production, focus on increasing the production rather? But I also ask them, what shows that if we increase the production, company A, the volume that they increased, they are exporting today, what shows that they are going to stick to that same volume? They also want to grow. And for that matter, as you increase your production, they also increase their volume they export. What is important is proper regulation to ensure that all the players play fairly and then all of them benefit fairly for the benefit of all the sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I think we will wind up this section with vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to thank all the speakers for presenting all the facts about the Ghana cashew season 2025 and answering all the queries of the participants. We thank you once again, the speakers and the participants. We'll meet you once again in the next webinar in the coming week. Thank you once again. Maybe we'll have 5 minutes chats, and those who want, they can use the chat facility and they can network with others for 5 minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much too. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.